Welcome to Walla Walla University's commencement exercises for 2023. Please clear the aisles and be seated immediately. The procession is beginning. Please clear the aisles and be seated immediately. The procession is beginning.
ask that everyone stand up so we can begin with a word of prayer.
Padre nuestro, santo, santo, santo es tu nombre.
Our Father who art in heaven, holy, holy, holy is your name.
El camino ha sido difícil,
The journey has been difficult,
pero venimos ante ti agradecidos
but we come to you with grateful hearts
porque tú has fortalecido nuestra fe
because you have strengthened our faith
y has provisto de los medios y personas a través de las cuales nos has ayudado.
and you have provided the means and the people to help us through.
Nuestros hijos se han esforzado y han sido valientes.
Our children have been strong and courageous.
Te agradecemos por la sabiduría y protección que les has dado,
We thank you for the wisdom and the protection that you have given them,
para que puedan disfrutar del éxito alcanzado.
so that they can now enjoy the success they have reached.
Estamos agradecidos por la dedicación de todo el personal educativo, administrativo y de servicio de esta institución.
We are thankful for the dedication of all the professors, administration, and staff of this institution.
Sígueles bendiciéndoles y usándoles como instrumentos tuyos
Continue to bless them and use them as instruments
para la formación intelectual y espiritual de cada estudiante a su alcance.
for the intellectual and spiritual growth of each of the students that they reach.
A la gran pregunta que nos haces, ¿dónde están los hijos que les he dado?
To the question that you have given us, where are the children that I have given to you?
Hoy como padres respondemos satisfechos.
Today, as parents, we proudly say,
He aquí los hijos que nos has dado.
here are the children that you have given us.
Te rogamos que tu Santo Espíritu les guíe
We ask that your Holy Spirit guide them
al dejar el alma mater y enfrentarse al mundo lleno de desafíos,
as they leave their alma mater and they face a world full of challenges,
que sean hombres y mujeres leales a ti,
that they may be people who are loyal to you,
como lo es la brújula al polo,
just like a compass needle is to the North Pole,
que estén siempre de parte de la verdad y la justicia,
that they may always be on the side of truth and justice,
aunque se desplomen los cielos.
though the heavens may fall down.
Padre Santo,
Holy Father,
es en el nombre de tu Hijo Jesucristo
it is in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ,
que te lo pedimos,
that we ask all these things,
porque tuyo es el reino,
for yours is the kingdom,
el poder
the power,
y la gloria
and the glory,
por todos los siglos.
forever.
Amén.
Amen.
You may all be seated. I'm John McVeigh, the president of Walla Walla University, and it's my happy privilege to welcome you to today's commencement ceremony. We gather to celebrate this large class of accomplished scholars, each of whom has worked over a span of years to acquire a specifically articulated set of knowledge, experiences, and skills that qualifies them to receive an undergraduate, graduate, or doctoral degree. We gather to congratulate and to confer the degrees that they have earned. We do so in the specific setting of our faith-based institution, its campuses, and its history. When the original Walla Walla College bell rings at the end of our ceremony, it will evoke the institution's long history, beginning way back in 1892, and it will evoke the importance and durability of its mission. We express that mission this way. We are a community of faith and discovery committed to excellence in thought, generosity in service, beauty in expression, and faith in God. To borrow further from our mission statement, Walla Walla University is founded on Christian teachings and values as understood and appreciated by the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Central to those teachings is the belief that every person is created in the image of God as a being of inestimable value and worth, imbued with powers of intelligence, stewardship, and creativity akin to those of the Creator. As we gather today, we have special reasons to honor this particular class, the Walla Walla University Senior Class of 2023, and to treasure their inestimable value and worth. Many members of this class began their academic journey at Walla Walla University in the fall of 2019. At the end of their first quarter, as test week was beginning, the university became the victim of a sophisticated ransomware attack. It was a moment, and it proved a strange precursor to what was to come. In March 2020, we went online, beginning a multi-year odyssey with the COVID-19 pandemic. The members of the class of the 2023 Walla Walla University class have proved resilient and dogged in their determination to see their courses of study through to successful completion. We gather this morning from around the globe to honor them, to celebrate their accomplishments, and to thank God for bringing them through to this moment. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hello and good morning, everybody. My name is Linnea, and it is a pleasure to be here with you. Graduates and guests, as we gather here today to celebrate our graduation, I would like to take a moment to reflect on the journey that has led us here, as well as to present our class gift. We have worked tirelessly to get to this point, and I want to commend each and every one of you for your dedication, your hard work, and perseverance. Today, we not only celebrate our individual achievements, but we also celebrate the sense of community that we have built over the years. Our experiences together have created lasting bonds that will endure far beyond our time here at this institution. Along this discussion of community, I would also like to thank the individuals whose support was invaluable for helping the class of 2023 to get here today. Your support as our families, advisors, teachers, counselors, friends, and in any capacity is appreciated and invaluable. As we move on to the next chapter of our lives, I urge each of you to carry the spirit of community that we have fostered here with us. Let us continue to support one another, to lift each other up, and to make a positive impact on the world. Now, that was nicely said, but a bit generic, don't you think? Thanks anyways, ChatGPT. But you don't know the class like I do. I know this community personally, and I've seen you face and overcome challenge after challenge. No amount of perfect AI-generated formal pleasantries and congratulations could perfectly address and celebrate our class. I remember the camaraderie between strangers at community service during Jumpstart, where I met you for the first time. I remember your immediate willingness to help move sandbags to save houses from flooding. I remember the kindness and resilience that you all showed in the face of a global pandemic, how we banded together to continue to create the Walla Walla community, even in a digital space. I remember how disproportionately the back of the church was filled during weekly communities. I remember praise teams, heartfelt tributes to God at Vespers, at Brian Circle Church and Nuestra Iglesia church services. You are a special graduating class. You are special to me, you are special to each other, and you are special to God. Your friendship is what most brightly shines God's love to me at Walla Walla University. It is in the spirit of community that I am proud to announce our class gift, a donation to the new Student Life and Ministry Center that will be built on campus. The new Student Center will be a place where students can come together to learn, grow, and connect with one another as the living room of the university. It will provide a space for student organizations to meet, for cultural events to be held, and for students to simply relax and unwind. Various groups, including the chaplain's office, campus ministry, ASU Outdoors, student missions, and other on-campus groups will be able to utilize the center. But more than just a physical space, the Student Center will serve as a symbol of our shared values of community, inclusivity, and support as the social heart of the campus. Congratulations, we did it. We built a community here, knowing God is in this place. To my fellow graduates, I say congratulations on this momentous achievement. Let us embrace the future with open arms, knowing that we are better prepared for whatever challenges lie ahead because of the community that we have built here. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Pam Kress, and I'm the Vice President for Academic Administration. I, hands down, have one of the best jobs on this campus, as I get to work directly with all the faculty you saw that marched in this morning, as well as staff on this campus. Each year we give faculty and staff awards. These people work hard and consistently to exhibit excellence in instruction and advisement. Each year at our awards ceremony on Alumni Weekend, we take time to commend them, those who exemplify excellence in their work and provide Walla Walla University students with opportunities to grow and learn. It is a pleasure to recognize once again the awardees for 2023. These faculty and staff represent some of our brightest and best. I would ask that the faculty and staff stand to be recognized when I read their name. Adventist Excellence in Theological Teaching Award. This is presented in recognition of excellence in teaching both on and off campus that reflects a commitment to Adventist theology. The award goes to Brant Berglund, Associate Professors of Biblical Studies. Community Service Award, awarded to a faculty or staff member who exemplifies generosity of service to the community. David Lopez, Executive Director of CHE. Distinguished Faculty Lecturer. This is selected because of the all-around excellence in teaching and scholarship, as well as the faculty's involvement in church and community. Rod Strobel, Chair and Assistant Professor of Health and Physical Education. Diversity and Inclusion Award. This is given to employees who demonstrate meritorious service in advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion as recognized by the Diversity and Inclusion Council. 2023, we had 2 faculty who fell into this category. Alma Alfaro, Professor of Languages, Laurel C. Warner, Professor of Social Work. The Presidential Award for Excellence in Scholarship, presented for significant and meritorious achievement in professional scholarship. The award went to Kurt Onthank, Professor of Biology. The Presidential Award for Excellence in Teaching, presented for significant and meritorious achievement in teaching. The award goes to Hillary Dickerson, Professor of History. Rising Staff Member of the Year Award. This is given in recognition of the energy, enthusiasm, knowledge, and innovative ideas a new employee brings to our workplace. The award goes to Richard Thomas, Senior Accountant and Payroll Manager. School of Business Teaching Award. This is given to a business faculty member for outstanding teaching, mentoring, and advising. George Perez, Assistant Professor of Business. Staff Member of the Year Award. This is in recognition of hourly and salaried employees who exemplify outstanding dedication, competence, performance, as well as excellent customer service. This award goes to 2 individuals on our campus. Carol Healy, Administrative Assistant at our School of Nursing in Portland. and Dorita Tessier, our Director for Gift Planning. The Stephen and Margaret Tan Engineering and Computer Science Excellence in Teaching Award. This is in recognition of teaching excellence in engineering or computer science. This year, the award went to Mark Hahn, Associate Professor of Engineering. And finally, the Walla Walla University Excellence in Advising Award. This is granted for outstanding student advising on the basis of student evaluations. The award this year went to Lana Van Dorn, Office Manager, School of Business. Thank you to all faculty and staff.
In the spirit of acknowledging people, allow me to acknowledge two in our midst this morning. Pastor Daniel Zhao is with us. Pastor Daniel is the president of the China Union Mission. He and his wife are here to celebrate the graduation of their daughter, and we'd like to acknowledge them and pray for their mission and all the work that they do, please. I'd also like to note and honor a colleague, a member of our senior leadership team, who this morning is dressed a little like a Secret Service agent. Dr. Scott Ligman, please stand, sir. Dr. Ligman has served this institution for many decades in various important roles, has for a good while been the Associate Vice President for Academic Administration, carrying a portfolio of accreditation activity and student success. The latter role means that he has spent many hours with many members of this class and is rather directly responsible for the success that we are celebrating today. Would you please take a moment to celebrate Scott Ligman? Our speaker this morning has been through many commencements as a professor and administrator in Seventh-day Adventist higher education institutions, and he's been through several in earning a BA from Pacific Union College, an MDiv from Andrews University, an MS-ED in outdoor education from Southern Adventist University, a PhD in organization and management from Capella University, and the certification in leadership coaching from Georgetown University. Now, among all those degrees and credentials, we at Walla Walla University like to think that one degree has contributed more to his education and done more to advance his skills in leadership than any other. The 6-year curriculum he has experienced here at the university, during which he has earned several times over his VPSL. Our speaker, Dr. Doug Tilstra, is concluding a stellar season of service to the university and its students as our VPSL, the Vice President for Student Life, providing leadership for residential life and housing, campus ministries, student wellness and counseling, the Dean of Students' Office, varsity athletics, as well as serving as liaison with our food service, campus clinic, and campus security providers. Along the way, he has earned the respect and appreciation of this university community for his engaged style of leadership, for his skilled ability as listener and negotiator, and especially for the way he values students and colleagues alike. His commitments to his risen Lord and to the mission of Walla Walla University have been inspiring. His accomplishments have been many. The significant issues and crises he has navigated numerous, and the appreciation he deserves from all of us incalculable. Dr. Tilstra is retiring after more than 44 years of experience as pastor, mentor, professor, coach, director, and administrator. He and his wife, Lorraine, are moving to their home on the shores of the beautiful Lake Adams in British Columbia, with hopes of spending more of their time with their children and grandchildren. We wish them well and are delighted to have Dr. Tilstra step into the commencement podium today. Please join me in welcoming our very own VPSL, Dr. Doug Tilstra.
Thank you, John. Class of 2023, you look good. And I loved watching your faces as you came down the aisle. They're just beaming and bright. You look good. Gracias a Dios lo logramos. Sorry, that's all I've got in Spanish. And you'll say thank you for helping me get that much. Last Sunday morning, ASWU hosted a garage sale in front of Kellogg Hall. Students were selling stuff they'd rather not pack up and take home. I left the garage sale and drove around each of the dorms and the student apartments. Dumpsters, giant turquoise dumpsters, rented just for this final week of school, had landed in each dorm and apartment parking lot. Already, they were filling up with rugs, chairs, a couch, broken bookshelves, a vacuum cleaner. It is actually a ritual at the end of each spring quarter, just before graduation. Class of 2023, you are leaving. You are packing it up and heading out. You are throwing stuff out and you are hanging on to other stuff. I'd like to offer a few suggestions about what you throw out and what you hang on to. Hold on to the memories. Battle of the Bands, Barn Party, Rail Jam, the women's basketball season that was just a little better than expected. Waiting in long sushi lines at the caf, but knowing it would be worth it. Virtually all exams canceled due to the ransomware incident. The sound of the shofar starting Vespers every Friday evening, and the connection with friends in the church sanctuary after the service. Pizza in the dorm lobbies after the bomb scare. Friends you made during Jumpstart and with whom you are now graduating and still friends with. And Dr. Kyle Craig's silly hats that changed every day of Jumpstart. Leaving campus early for spring break in March 2020 due to COVID, expecting to be back in a few weeks, and many of you not back on campus until next fall. Berean Church, Latinx Salsa Night, APIC lay making in the Atlas Courtyard, combined Thanksgiving and Christmas break due to COVID. Hanging out with friends at the weekly Haven gathering. Pedrito's rendition right on cue. How can you forget that? Studying in the Atlas and so much more. Soft serve ice cream every day in the cafeteria. Cabining at Rosario. BSCF camp out, the outdoor cathedral right here in Centennial Green every fall, the engineering egg drop, CHE care weekends and service projects, the Mud Bowl, and so much more. A number of you have generously shared your memories with me of the past 4 years, and I don't have nearly enough time to mention all of them, but here's a few personal memories. Andrew's memories of Saturday night pizza and Netflix with friends. Rachel's gratitude that a handful of English and religion professors managed to simultaneously awaken in her critical thinking abilities and a sense of wonder and curiosity for God and the Bible that have made college for her a time of amazing spiritual growth. Ivy's inability to return home to China, to her family, since her freshman year due to COVID travel restrictions. And thus, Walla Walla has become more family and home than she ever expected. Talia, your unabashed enthusiasm that these past 4 years have been the best 4 years of your life. Aaron, the tragedy that crippled and threatened to define your freshman year prompted you to a life-transforming decision to leave for India and a student mission assignment. Jenny and Anilse, the crazy outdoor adventures with friends that resulted in getting lost in the snow in the enchantments and lost again with those same friends on a river float that required making shoes from pool noodles so you could hike back to the car. Amon, planning Welcome Bash back. I didn't say that right. Welcome Back Bash. There you go. Planning Welcome Back Bash 2 years in a row, little knowing that that very experience would be the thing that would land you your first job at the YMCA. Aaliyah, your two-person Winter Olympics that ended at Taco Bell. Hannah, your magical walk through the snow-covered streets of Portland with a friend. Alex, your crash in the snow, same winter, on the way to Walmart and being rescued by a total stranger. Matthew, weekly afterglow memories in Kretschmer with friends and their guitars. And an unnamed, COVID's online open book test suddenly saving your grade in A&P from 70% to the needed 93%. So hold on to those fun memories. Don't throw those out. What else? Hold on to the experiences and what they've taught you. Katie, engaging with peers, creating community, and living frugally. Nyasha, you don't have to lose your inner kid. I think that's an exact quote from you. Mitchell, love, grace, and humility fuel my hunger to know God better. Haley, learning to work with people and the others so-called soft skills are among the best things I've learned at Walla Walla University. Abriel, gratitude for all the people here who helped me as an international student. I wouldn't have made it without their kindness and generosity. Alyssa, service really is one of the most important values in life. And David, it was a shout out to you and CHE as part of that. Branson, as a mechanic, think outside the box, think for yourself. Don't just follow the first thing that appears to your mind. Mercy, make yourself useful. Adriana, my professors believed that I could make it and convinced me to believe that too. And a few others. I'm smarter and more capable than I thought. Push outside your comfort zone and connect with a wide variety of people. And finally, college has been hard, but it has taught me to consistently turn to God and trust Him. What else do you hang on to? Well, we've had more than a handful of references to COVID, so you would expect for me to say this. Remember what COVID taught you. Hold on to that too. Here are some of the things you told me. Everything can change on a dime. Learn to be adaptable. Resilience and grit are the only way to face life when it comes at you full force. Building long-distance relationships is possible. Quiet, outdoor walks with those people who matter to you are times well spent. This next statement was in the context of standing on the sidewalk outside of Mesquite, the quarantine hall, through the windows communicating. Okay, that was the context. If we can get through this, we can get through anything. There is always light on the other side. Slowing down to reflect on life is a good thing. Learning about various software programs can be really useful when face-to-face is impossible. And finally, this one. Don't ever take for granted the luxury of a Super Bowl party. So what else do you hang on to? Keep the connections and networks. So many of you, especially in the engineering and business department, repeatedly told me that you have built a huge network of professional contacts that are already serving you well. But more importantly, you have learned how to keep building those professional networks. Shout out to those professors who are helping our students do that. A couple of other things just mentioned briefly. Natasha, this would kind of come back to your comment. Don't be too quick to jettison playfulness, fun, and a sense of wonder and curiosity. Remember the affirmations and confidence invested in you here. One of the things I wish I had time for but will not do. I asked you what shout-outs you wanted to give. And the shout-outs you gave to these professors and staff were just so amazing. It would have taken the entire time to just share those. But don't forget those. Hang on to those. And finally, hold on to the faith that you have developed here. You have obviously developed skills, competencies, and knowledge for life and for your profession. You don't need anyone to tell you to hang on to those. That's kind of what you were expecting to pay your money for. There's more, but you get the idea. Be intentional. Some things are harder to hold on to than others. Particularly two things that are harder to hold on to than others. Friendships and faith. Friendships and faith. Those take time to nurture. 6 months from now, you may find that you've gone a while without connection with God or connection with friends who could still be a support to you. Life on campus tends to make those connections with God and friends easy and natural. Life away from campus may require much more intentionality to maintain those connections. But make the effort. Don't throw that away. So, what do you throw away? What about the stuff that you will throw away? The stuff you will be better off to get rid of. Have you collected some detritus while here at Walla Walla? Do you need to toss some stuff in the dumpster? Good chance you may have a bit to throw out. Could I suggest just 3 to consider? I'm going to hit you hard here. Arrogance. I know it all. Now, this doesn't apply to all of you, but part of it applies to some of you. You may have a 4.0 GPA, you may be graduating with honors, you may have already landed a great position in your field, and you're pretty sure that you have a lot to offer your new employer, and they are pretty lucky to have you. Well, that illusion will last for a little while. Chances are it won't last too long. You've still got a lot to learn. This ceremony is called commencement for a reason. This is the beginning, not the end of your learning. Junk the arrogance, the sense of superiority, the attitude that you are done with learning. At the other end of the continuum is fear. Some of you are more likely to be controlled by fear than by arrogance. Recently, I heard some of you say, life out there looks a bit scary. I'm not sure if I'm up to this adulting thing. Some of us are really nervous about what is next. I've been witness to some of the tears from you, class of 2023. Tears of frustration, disappointment, and confusion. No doubt these fears are real and difficult. You, however, are up to the task of facing them. And could I name just one other thing to throw out? Bitterness and unresolved anger. There's a pretty good chance that during your time at Walla Walla, you've experienced some pain, possibly at the careless hands of others. Some of the most painful may actually have come from people like me, Walla Walla administrators, professors, staff members. On behalf of all of us, I want to say I am sorry. Please give me and my colleagues an opportunity to hear your story, to engage with you, and experience reconciliation if possible. I had an uncle who years ago graduated from an Adventist school. Just before graduation, one of the administrators handled a difficult situation poorly, at least in my uncle's version of the story. For the next 50 years, my uncle was a bitter, angry man, angry at the school, angry at the person who mistreated him, angry at the church, and angry at God. The story, amazingly, did have a happy ending. But 50 years later, when I spoke with my uncle at the end of those 50 years, tears were running down his face as he said, I have spent decades poisoning my life and my family's life with unresolved anger and bitterness. What a waste. Give reconciliation a chance. In Scripture, there's a telling passage about throwing stuff out and not throwing stuff out. The Epistle to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verses 1 and 2 says, Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. And just a few verses earlier, the apostle says this about not throwing certain things away. Remember those earlier days after you'd received the light, because you knew that you yourselves had better and lasting possessions. So do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. Pedrito, richly rewarded. So speaking of stuff to throw out or not, let me tell you a story in closing that happened to one of the graduating seniors a few months ago. Both Justin and President McVeigh have given me permission to tell this story. It seems that Justin had a special girl whom he wanted to impress, and he contacted Dr. McVeigh for his assistance. Would Dr. McVeigh be willing to allow Justin and his date to come to Dr. McVeigh's third floor office in the administration building and share a hot beverage with them as they watched the sunrise from Dr. McVeigh's office window? I can do one better than that, Dr. McVeigh offered. How about if I take you up into the bell tower atop the administration building and we watch the sunrise from there? So armed with hot chocolate and chai tea, Justin and his lucky date joined Dr. McVeigh at 6:30 a.m. to watch the sunrise from Walla Walla's famous bell tower. The best part of the story? One of the three thought to bring a pocket full of candy and pelted early morning passers-by on the sidewalk with candy falling from the sky. Throwing candy to the passers-by. Among other things, Walla Walla University is about empowering students, connecting well with others, the availability of faculty and staff, engendering hope, fostering creativity and life transformation. So much good symbolized in that candy gleefully raining frown from Walla Walla's bell tower. Beside throwing worthless stuff out and keeping the valuable stuff, it is also a good idea to throw out some valuable stuff, not to get rid of it, but to share it with others. Some of the good stuff, the candy from Walla Walla University that you might want to generously throw to others is excellence in thought, beauty in expression, generosity in service, faith in God. So do not throw away your confidence, it will be richly rewarded. But let us throw everything off that hinders and the sins that so easily entangle us, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus. Throw out the garbage, hold on to the treasures, generously share those treasures with others.
Will the class of 2023 please stand? President McVeigh, esteemed faculty, staff, students, family members, honored guests, and those watching by TV, it gives me great pleasure, 127 years after the first Walla Walla University commencement, to present the graduating class of 2023. Our current records show that we have 346 graduates, which is 51 more than last year. 286, or about 83% of you, begin here as freshmen, and in this class, women outnumber men again this year. The class of 2023 covers a broad range in age. According to our records, our youngest bachelor's degree graduates are 19 years old, and our oldest is 66. We have one graduate who is, I'm told, a fifth-generation graduate of this institution. Willa King, will you wave your arm? We probably should have a building named after the King family. In addition to the undergraduates we celebrate today, we are also graduating 82 graduate students across 3 campuses: Billings, Montana, Missoula, Montana, and College Place. Among that group are 8 graduates who have earned a doctorate of social work degree. Those graduates are wearing brand new doctoral robes made especially for Walla Walla University, which feature our school colors of orange and green. The class of 2023 is a high-achieving class. At this time, 87 qualify as cum laude graduates, 58 for magna cum laude, and 45 as summa cum laude. 7 seniors are completing double majors, and 8 seniors are completing dual bachelor degrees. Walla Walla University is granting a grand total of 344 bachelor degrees and 21 associate degrees. In addition to these achievements, we would like to recognize one senior who graduates today with a cumulative 4.0 grade point average, Eden Kim. We have a number of dedicated scholars in this distinguished senior class, having earned an impressive number of college credits. The senior graduating with the highest number will have earned a grand total of 289 college credits here at Walla Walla University. All combined, this class earned more than 66,000 student credit hours. That is a lot of tuition. Thank you very much. Speaking of tuition, the class of 2023 received over $24 million in grants and scholarships while here at Walla Walla University. This shatters our previous record of $19 million set by the class of 2021. While the majority of these funds are received by undergraduate students, 97.8% of the graduating students receive some kind of grant or scholarship during their period of enrollment. For the undergraduates, the average award was just over $63,000, and 58 students received over $100,000 in grants and scholarships. The $24 million these students received is from Walla Walla University, friends and alumni of the university, and outside sources, and does not include the $4.1 million these students also received from government sources. The School of Business has the largest number of majors represented in this class with 73 seniors. The nursing program is next with 60. School of Engineering with 40. School of Education and Psychology with 34. Health and Physical Education and Technology each with 28 graduates. Biology with 19, social work and sociology with 17, communication and languages with 14, computer science and history and philosophy with 11 graduates each, a School of Theology with 9, chemistry with 6, math with 5, art and English with 4 each, music with 3, and physics with 2. 134 of our graduating seniors come from right here in Washington State. 74 are from California, 63 from Oregon, and 13 from Idaho. 23 other states are represented here from as far away as Florida, Maine, and Alaska. We also have international representation in the senior class, including Argentina, Bermuda, Bolivia, Brazil, Canada, China, Colombia, Ethiopia, Finland, Germany, India, Ireland, Japan, Republic of Korea, Mexico, Federated States of Micronesia, Nicaragua, Palau, Russia Federation, South Sudan, and Spain. And I will be trying to pronounce those names with no accents here in a few minutes. Some of the class of 2023 have already focused on service to the world beyond Walla Walla Valley. Within this group are 30 who have served as student missionaries and task force workers. We are proud to call all of you our alumni and know that you will continue to bless others as we go forth into the world. President McVeigh, I am pleased to present the Walla Walla University class of 2023. Let us now begin with the conferring of the degrees. Linnea Adrin Elias, President, degree of Bachelor of Science, major in Elementary Education, magna cum laude. And these are our senior class officers. Hannah Renee Follett, Co-President, Portland Campus, degree of Bachelor of Science, major in Nursing, summa cum laude. Gabriella Jung, Co-President, Portland Campus, degree of Bachelor of Science, major in Nursing, magna cum laude. Alea Edonna Clark, Vice President, Secretary, degree of Bachelor of Science, major in elementary education, summa cum laude. Nyasha Teravinga, Social Vice President, degree of Bachelor of Social Work. Mitchell Lance Powers, Spiritual Vice President, degree of Bachelor of Arts, major in Religion, cum laude. Catherine Brooke Alvarez, Marketing Vice President, degree of Bachelor of Science, major in Elementary Education, magna cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Iching Ivy Liu, Treasurer, degree of Bachelor of Science, major in Business Administration. Jennifer Vidales Luscano, Sergeant at Arms, degree of Bachelor of Science, major in Psychology, also an AS degree in Pre-Speech Language Pathology and Audiology, summa cum laude. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, major in Art, Rebecca Grace Crary. Hannah Jane Gillespie, cum laude. Lakin Scott, cum laude. Major in Business Administration, Chelsea Shanae Jurgensen, summa cum laude. Angelica Grace Ann Leach, cum laude. Gabriel Morgan Rouse, major in Chemistry, Zachary Brandon Dilger. Major in Computer Science, Caden M. Fairchild, cum laude. Major in English, Devon Border, magna cum laude. Danae Elizabeth Myers. Sarah Danielle Radke, summa cum laude. Rochelle Laurel Shrimp, cum laude. Major in Global Communication, William A. Graves, magna cum laude. Major in History, Kelby Leanne Eichmann, also a Bachelor of Ed degree, major in Secondary Education, magna cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Ryan Jonathan Lee, cum laude. Carlos Lopez Mercado. Seth Almanzo Rexon, also a major in Psychology, cum laude. Abigail K. Tejel Pierce, cum laude. Monty G. Wilkins, also a major in Spanish. Major in Humanities and Multidisciplinary Studies, River E. Sutton, cum laude. Leanne Elizabeth Trussell, cum laude, Honors General Studies Program. Rebecca Abigail Valenzuela Orozco, magna cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Major in Music, Yenna Cho, cum laude. Major in Psychology, Araya Janae Froney. Daisy Leseth Perez Mendez, magna cum laude. Major in Religion, Aries J. Alcantara, magna cum laude, Christian service volunteer. Claire E. Bali, also a BSW degree, summa cum laude, honors general studies program. Major in strategic communication, Summer Jean Boulay, magna cum laude. Meredith Ann Boyd. Madison Joy Newmeyer, cum laude. Joshua Nathaniel Panado, cum laude. Samuel Peter Christian Sevar, cum laude. Caleb Jennings Troutwine, cum laude. Samantha Ashley Wawandantu, cum laude, Christian service volunteer. Major in theology, Aurora Jane Galt, summa cum laude, Christian service volunteer. Parker Chevet Leclerc, magna cum laude, honors general studies program. Andrew T. Moyler. Benjamin Michael Watson, also a major in biblical languages. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration, Joshua A. Aguilar. Lucas Brockton Barch. Haley Cherie Bischoff, magna cum laude. Artur Borges Perezu, summa cum laude. Jameson S. Collins. Ryan Daniel, cum laude. Gleb Droomy. Thomas Andrew Eichmann. Sterling Thomas Eller, cum laude. Maria Adriana Gonzalez de Moreno. Wills H. Hafner. Nicholas Paul Humphreys. Andrew James Irvine, cum laude. Aman Carr. Emily Hope Kitto, cum laude. Alyssa Grace Connect, summa cum laude. Jonathan Ken Kosaka, cum laude. Benjamin Christian Kruger Blem, magna cum laude. Michael Alexander Kukic, summa cum laude. Omar I. Lopez Arechica. Emma Grace McLaughlin, summa cum laude, Christian service volunteer. Kudzai El Mandewa. Marcus M. Mirnov. Josephine Laureen Peterson, summa cum laude. Samuel Lawrence Piner. John Logan Plake, magna cum laude. Aaron Joseph Pope, cum laude. Caitlin Stephanie Pope, summa cum laude. Isaac Idel Rivera, cum laude. Jacob Carl Roney, magna cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Samuel J. Schlimmer. Casey J. Shearer, cum laude. Marissa Deanne Suter, cum laude. Daniel Gordon Tom, cum laude. Jedediah Vale Turner, summa cum laude. Kelton Thomas Turner, summa cum laude. Stephen Edward Van Dorn, also an AS degree in product design, magna cum laude. Ben Matthew Wallakonis. Thomas W. Walter. Murmi Jeanette Yamada, magna cum laude. Bruno V. Samo. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Liberal Studies. Hima Roxana Figueroa. Emily Michelle Hathaway, Christian Service Volunteer. Kiri Ann Lemming, Christian Service Volunteer. Jared N. Porras. Brett Edward Wilson. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Music. Hannah Michelle Gordon, also a Bachelor of Ed degree, major in secondary education, summa cum laude. Jamie Alexander Goodwin Palmer, also a Bachelor of Ed degree, major in secondary education, magna cum laude. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science, major in automotive management, Levi Martin Comstock. Way to go, Levi. Joshua Scott Fortune. Brendan Scott Griffin, Christian Service Volunteer. Major in automotive service, Clayton F. Seeley, cum laude. Major in aviation management, Eric Takaro Bayer. Ryan Matthew Knippo, also an AS degree in business, cum laude. Ashlyn Faye Kruger, also an AS degree in business. Jaron George Personius, also a major in business administration. Kyle A. Robertson, also an AS degree in business. Isaiah M. Velasco, also an AS degree in business, cum laude. Major in aviation technology, Alareza Sufan Ayaba. Kyle A. Ballard. James S. Freeman. Joel Gerald Arthur Morin, magna cum laude. Nathaniel Joseph Sanchez, summa cum laude. Walker Charles Snell, magna cum laude. Major in biochemistry, Austin Bradley Dietrich. Michaela Marie Lynn Hernandez. Ana Sofia Milano, cum laude. Zachary Alvin Nakamura. Kristen Laura Whitley, summa cum laude. Major in biology, Julio R. Bodewin. Lucas Tanner Buller, summa cum laude. Justin Daniel Corral Yanes, cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Michael A. Kovrig, also a Bachelor of Ed degree, major secondary education, magna cum laude. Dylan Scott Dietrich. Lauren Brianne Ford, magna cum laude. Stefano Angelo Fratiani, summa cum laude. Zoe Marie Grant, magna cum laude. Nathaniel T. Iwakoshi, magna cum laude. Eden Nari Kim, summa cum laude. Faith R. Morales. Braylee A. Nelson, magna cum laude. Stephanie Pamela Reynosa Mendez, Christian Service Volunteer. Brianna Brooke Scully, cum laude. Allison Mayling Simmons, summa cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Alexandra Kira Tyler, summa cum laude. Miranda Brooke Redberg, cum laude, Honors General Studies Program. Lowen Eric Yip, summa cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Carmen Annalise Youngberg. Major in Business Administration, Jacob Stephen Arthur Chavez, summa cum laude. Bryson Matthew Collins. Carson Scott Cummings, summa cum laude. Katie Virginia Emmons, cum laude. Caleb Robert Fisher, cum laude. Anders Jeffrey Fletcher, cum laude. Juliana Inez Flores, Christian Service Volunteer. Justin Cole Graham. Yvonne M. Lake, cum laude. Megan Grace Benoit Lursbach. Sophia Marie Lorge, cum laude. Charles Robert Miller, magna cum laude. Samuel Quen Schaffner, cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Talia Joy Schnur. Mark Anthony Selavanoff, summa cum laude. Alexander Andrew Tapu. Uitse Olivia Wang, magna cum laude. Mattia Binko, cum laude. Samuel Saram Hernandez Jepes. Garrett Kingston Moody, cum laude. Quentin Scott Price. Reese Paulus Recli, cum laude. Evan Ival Incio Taylor, cum laude. Catherine Marie Thompson, magna cum laude, Honors General Studies Program. Hayden Douglas Tinker, also a major in Business Administration. Major in Elementary Education, Julia Madeline Madsen. Molly L. Moore. Alicia F. Pope, magna cum laude. Kaylee Mariah Reyes, summa cum laude. Jonathan Edward Shannon. Major in Exercise Science, Isaac Wu Beck, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Brooke Bunn, Christian Service Volunteer. Anya Esther Cole. Elijah B. Fothery, also an AS degree in pre-physical therapy. Jana Christine Follett, also an AS degree in pre-physical therapy, magna cum laude. Marcella C. Medema, cum laude. Paulina Quintana Castro, also an AS degree in pre-physical therapy, Chloe Nicole Rolroda, magna cum laude. Jenna Juliana Wagner, cum laude. Major in Film, TV, and Media, Stefan Luis de Paula. Yumika Emily Ilasaka. Mallory Jules Newmeyer. Major in Forensic Psychology, Sarah Lynn Kasashinko, cum laude. Jennifer Lloyd. Kiri Elise Rebello. Major in Graphic Design, Tristan Henry Driver, magna cum laude. Belicio Zhao. Grace Amelia Morales. Major in Health Science, Carl B. Beamsterfer, summa cum laude. Katie Cordero. Mercy Dominguez, cum laude. Colton Lewis Fleming, summa cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Marissa Jean Haggerty. Tiana Marie Hess, also an AS degree in pre-physical therapy, summa cum laude. Eastland Gabrielle Johnson, cum laude. Willa Loretta King, magna cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Samantha Meyer Sayeg, cum laude. Major in Mathematics, Rocio M. Petrovicius. Jamie Stonas, summa cum laude. Faye Swoy, also a major in Business Administration, cum laude. Chase Douglas Wiedemann, also a Bachelor of Ed degree, major in Secondary Education, summa cum laude. Major in Nursing, Beverly Abels. Bryn Emily Bobick, magna cum laude. Andrea Emily Batea, cum laude. Megan Jane Blackman. Michelle Christine Bleck, magna cum laude. Hannah Jane Brown, summa cum laude. Madison Faith Brown, cum laude. Julia Cordero Sarli, magna cum laude. Annalise Dalla Vega. Fikar T. Desselin, magna cum laude. Grant Robert Dizon, cum laude. Natalie Genevieve Figueroa. Ricelina Rachel L. Gampu. Esther Y. Gershon, cum laude. Andy Mojico Gonzalez. Vanessa Marie Goss, magna cum laude. Sydney Page Groff, cum laude. Carmi Alani Guzman Rosa. Nicholas S. Henrik. Sarah Nicole Holland, Christian Service Volunteer. Trent Allen Johnson, cum laude. Lauren Marie Kersavage, magna cum laude. Jenny Megan Kashishzadeh. Bailey K. Crucy. Emma R. Leslie, magna cum laude. Janelle Lisa Macias. Fatuma M. Mahmoud. Zachary Stephen Mayer, magna cum laude. Alyssa Joy Mayhew, cum laude. Anna Victoria Macklin, cum laude. Joshua Ethan Matthew Miller, magna cum laude. Jillian Christine Nim, cum laude. Jenna Ray Nunn, cum laude. Gianni Rogelio Pacchini, Christian Service Volunteer. Kezia Saret Perez. Chelsea Ann Rochelle, magna cum laude. Sardayi Rojas Nunez. Alyssa Liani Rumboa. Elizabeth Alexandra Saldana. Yesenia Sanchez de Villa, cum laude. Sophia M. Sherwin, cum laude. Lauren K. M. Solari. Glenn William Soa II, magna cum laude. Audra June Jane Sprode, magna cum laude. Kimberly Hannah Vader, magna cum laude. Sarah Noraline Wallace, magna cum laude. Kirsten Nicole Wentworth, magna cum laude. Alexis Desiree Winkle, magna cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Johanna Lynette Wren, cum laude. Jasmine Renee Wright Jones, magna cum laude. Caitlin Hart Youngbird, cum laude. Major in Physical Education, William S. Froney. Kyle A. King, cum laude. In absentia, obviously. My internet just stopped working up here. Let's see where I'm at. Major in Physics, Cameron Michael Sandoval, cum laude. Major in Product Design, Angelica Brizuela Rodriguez, cum laude, Christian Service Volunteer. Christian Neil Busby, cum laude. Matthew Orvek, summa cum laude. Pedro Reyes. Jackson Giovanni Saturno. Richard Harrison Wilcox. Jared Drian Wilson, magna cum laude. Major in Psychology, Elizabeth Grace Art. Katie Marie Bailey. Alexandra Uilani Buzan, Christian Service Volunteer. Rachel Marie Galvis. Joni Lynn Hubbard. Alexis Tomas Mountain. Grace Elizabeth Rouse. Graciela Karina Smith, cum laude. Abigail Michelle Trunke. Olivia M. Zane, summa cum laude. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Alex H. Ass. Jared Elliott Balance, cum laude. Clinton Mark Bame. Mikhail Brezhnev. Andrew Christopher Bussell. Elizabeth Ann Budekofer, Christian Service Volunteer. Emily M. Carlton, summa cum laude. Eunilce Joxana Castillo Osejo, magna cum laude. Colin Thomas Cheney, summa cum laude. Carson M. Crispins, summa cum laude, Honors General Studies Program. Lindsay Beth Crossman Russell, summa cum laude. Kyle Andrew Dasher. Andrew Aaron Oaf, Honors General Studies Program. Jared R. Evans. Alexander Ron Fazio, summa cum laude. Kevin Leobardo Hernandez Nino. Mitchell Stephen Forrest Knapp, cum laude. Caden L. Maddox, cum laude. Melanie Ann Marino Brignoni, cum laude. Christian Maynard Miller, magna cum laude. David Riley Menden, Christian Service Volunteer. Joshua Charles Mullerzik, cum laude. Andrew Keanu Mushashik. Gabriel Timothy Penson, cum laude. Sean A. Rantung, magna cum laude. Walter Jr. Rios Rivera. Mariah Juana Roman. Harold Andres Sanchez. Egan Jerry Schmidt Weiss, cum laude. Honors General Studies Program, Christian Service Volunteer. Jared Daniel Singer, cum laude. Elijah O. Sue. Nohana Mercedes Slayton. Theodore Edmund Slayton. Taylor Jackson Smith, also a BS degree, major in computer science. Marley Tamaalihi Soli. Marley obviously has a fan club. Aaron Taylor Sullivan, Christian Service Volunteer. Spencer Hamilton Welch. Christian Williams. Nicholas A. Zimmerman. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Social Work. Xavier Alejandro Alarid. Colleen Eveline Bloom, summa cum laude. Mariah Alexandra Kloss, cum laude. Michaela N. Dant. Lauren Faith Farnsworth, summa cum laude. Joel Michael Fernandez. Brianna L. Fitzgerald. Bailey Danae Follett, magna cum laude. Brianna Crystal Garcia, cum laude. Jose Gregorio Garcia. Fuweu Inaula Elaine Leon Yun. Sydney Ann Michaelenko. Cater Alexandra Perkins, summa cum laude. Lindsay Ruth Reed, cum laude. Savannah M. Samora. Candidates for the degree of Associate of Science. Abrel Gok Thuk. Liberal Studies. Geneva Lorraine Martin. Pre-dental hygiene. Gabrielle Delaney Cole Browning, magna cum laude. Alexandria Nicole Scully. Pre-nutrition and dietetics, Emily Grace Curbs. Pre-speech language pathology and audiology, Madeline Marie Stone, cum laude.
Candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Teaching, Elizabeth J. Fressy. Jackie L. Harwood. Candidates for the degree of Master of Education, Bryce Edward Samsel, Holabert E. Phillips Scholastic Achievement Award. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science, Rachel Lynn Doherty, Holabert E. Phillips Scholastic Achievement Award. Ashley Marie Morrow. Shane Michael Springbett. Ricky Orion Wright. Candidates for the degree of Master of Social Work, James Foley Baldwin, Holabert E. Phillips Scholastic Achievement Award. Tiffany Ann Barney. Catherine Bendezu. Samantha Blaine. Claudia Bonilla. Elizabeth Carol Claybrook. Dr. Charis Brewer Current. Julie Ann Gattenby. Sylvia Gwendolyn. Yuli Guzman Palacios. Alyssa Catherine Riley Harder. Paula Herrera. Vanessa Brooke Lightfoot. Stephanie Ann Marsh. Haley Ann Miller. Robert Oliveras. Sergio Alexis Peña Cerón. Blanca Lisbeth Kairos Marin. Amari Marie Rains. Landon J. Reddington. Rachel Elizabeth Ellen Reed. Adiel Sanchez. Sherry Siegel Baker. Angelina Danielle Shaber. Charla Sloppy. Madison Lori Virgil. Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Social Work. Abelina Alcantara Dickerson. Doctoral thesis, The Access to Healthcare for Latinx Immigrants in the Walla Walla Valley. Bryce Patrick Baylor. Doctoral thesis, Exploring Healthcare Workers' Views on Children's Rights to Consent in Medical Decision-Making. Abra Pearl Kelson. Doctoral thesis, Identity and Meaning-Making in Young and Middle-Aged Adults Caring for a Parent with Advanced Incurable Cancer. Melissa Renee Mace. Doctoral thesis, Black Women in Leadership. Stephanie Ann Miller. Doctoral thesis, Lived Experiences of Sex Offenders and the Impact of Barriers Intended for Public Safety. Stacy Jean Nielsen. Doctoral thesis, Social Work and Whiteness, a narrative review of the whiteness in social work curriculum. Kayla Naomi Savage. Doctoral thesis, Barriers to Social Workers' Practice in Montana.
I am Claudia Santillano, Director for Alumni and Parent Relations. Alumni of Walla Walla University, we thank you for helping to build this place and for the legacy you left behind. Parents and families of graduates, we thank you for sharing your student with us and for trusting us with their college education. Graduates, class of 2023, you have earned your degree and are now a Walla Walla University success story. Congratulations. You joined the ranks of more than 30,000 Walla Walla University alumni. It is my honor and privilege to officially welcome you as alumni. The relationship we begin today, we hope it will be a durable one for you. The gift you found on your seat is a gift from the Walla Walla University Alumni Association. Class of 2023, know that you will be missed and that we will be thinking of you and that we will pray for you. When you reach a milestone, let us know. We ask that you stay connected. We'll stay in touch with you with news about fellow alumni and beloved faculty and invitations to alumni events. We ask that you provide us a parting gift. Represent us well. Be a strong advocate for Walla Walla University. Be godly alumni and be our greatest champions. We sincerely wish you God's grandest blessings. To our newest alumni, the class of 2023, welcome to the Walla Walla University's alumni family.
Following the benediction, I invite the audience to remain seated for the traditional ringing of the university bell and the recessional. And now, with the class of 2023, the faculty and the staff join us for the benediction by standing. Gentlemen, please remove your hats.
Gracious Father, compassionate God, we pray for our graduates today as we lift them before you. We are forever grateful that you entrusted them into our hands. They truly are a treasured gift. We ask that you encompass them with your endless love and surround them with the comfort of your infinite grace. Fill them with hope so that they travel into the future with optimism and excitement. Enable them to use the expertise they've gained to elevate the lives of those around them. Empower them with unlimited compassion and an eagerness to fight for the oppressed and the marginalized. We pray there will be a blessing to their community and the world. We ask that you go with our graduates as they begin a new pathway, a pathway that at times will be absolutely grueling. Let them sense your presence beside them as they traverse raging rivers, boulder fields, and treacherous mountain roads. Refresh their spirits along their journey with flower-filled meadows, meandering brooks. Make their footpath clear and ensure that they feel your love and peace at every turn.
In closing, we extend an Irish blessing to all who celebrate this special occasion. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall softly upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hands. In his name, we offer these words. Amen.